Lots of you have been commenting that while we cover the world of cleaner, greener, safer and smarter vehicles, we're always covering super expensive luxury electric cars. And I'm not going to lie, in the last 6 months, the number of affordable electric vehicles that we've had a chance to experience, to review, to talk about have been, well, I've been able to count them on one hand, whereas all of the cars that we've experienced and reviewed and driven tend to be towards the premium end of the market, and that's for a very good reason. Usually it's a lot easier for automakers to make a profit on high-end vehicles, and very often startups use those high-end vehicles to inform their design language, to raise capital, and hopefully, although it very rarely happens, funnel that money down into more affordable models. But today I'm here in Los Angeles to see a very special car with a very special story. This is a car that is not only a solar electric vehicle and one with a estimated target price of about $25,000. It's currently 29,000 euro in Germany, but that does include 19% sales tax. It's a vehicle that was crowdfunded in its early days. It's a vehicle that has grown and evolved over the years, is getting ready for production very, very soon, and is a vehicle whose creators have a very open and free attitude towards right to repair, serviceability, and keeping the vehicle on the road for a long period of time. I'm here today with the Sono Sion and also the company CEO, Laurin Hahn. Laurin, it's so good to meet you at last. Congratulations on bringing this, which is a pre-production prototype, to the US. You've had a tour that's lasted 3 weeks. How has it been?
Incredible, just incredible. We are overwhelmed by the feedback we got from the people. They just love the car and the price point. We are always asking, hey, this is a solar car. And we then say, what do you guess is the price of this vehicle? And they're like 50, 70. And we're like, no, this is 25,000 euros without tax in there. Incredible feedback. We love it.
Tell me about how Sono Motors' roots have influenced what it does today as a company.
Well, we started 10 years ago with a vision of a world without fossil fuels. And we set ourselves the mission of putting solar on every vehicle. And in order to do that, we started in a garage building the first vehicle by hand and quickly saw it works. We have to do something about it. And that was then the point when we said, okay, let's found a company and bring this, onto our streets. And back then, Jona, Navina, and myself, we went over crowdfunding because there was no other access to capital than that. And then we went out, told the people, and said, here's our concept. Are you willing to give us money? And the people responded overwhelmingly. And we did the first crowdfunding campaign. It skyrocketed overnight. And that was the foundation then of the company.
So after the crowdfunding, Sono then went onto the stock market, which you told me earlier was about a year ago.
Yes.
And then 3 weeks ago, you were in New York for the closing bell.
Yes, it was an amazing moment. It's a great moment. Well, it was a long way from, going from the garage to a global vision being stock listed. In between, we had several crowdfunding campaigns. One of the biggest crowdfunding campaign in the world with 50 million euros in 2019, 2020. And that was incredible. That was giving us the headwind for, raising an additional capital and then going to the NASDAQ to be listed.
One of the interesting things about Sono Motors is that in developing the Sion, you have evolved the vehicle as time has progressed. So the first vehicle had different specs, different battery pack. You're going to production with this vehicle very soon. It's got a BYD battery pack in, which, by the way, is cobalt-free and nickel-free and magnesium-free.
Yes.
And that means, obviously, no worries about ethical problems of slave labor in Africa, no artisan mines for cobalt. You've got a very good electric motor setup, 130 kilowatts, if memory serves correctly.
120. Yes.
And you've got a real collaboration of different companies helping bring this vehicle to market. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, as of today, we have a world-class supply chain, including suppliers you just mentioned, BYD, Fintrames for the battery, Continental, Vitesco supplying the motor, and many more big suppliers we all know. So it is a great vehicle. It's going to be a great quality of the vehicle because it's also produced at Valmet Automotive in Finland with zero emission, because we compensate everything in there, and the production there is CO2 neutral. So we're trying really to do everything we can, but I also must admit, also there are limits, right? We are still a small company compared to the big OEMs, and we're trying our best to make this the most sustainable vehicle we can produce.
So I'm here with Christian from Sono, and Christian, you are giving me a little bit of a ride in the Sion. It's a very smooth ride. Now, because this is a prototype car,
Yes.
we're not doing a whole lot today, and I'm not allowed to drive because it's a prototype, but this is giving me a kind of an experience of what it feels like at slow speeds.
So this is one out of 37 vehicles, like the sister car. And this is car number 10. The sister car number 9 already was on the German Autobahn. So this car is capable of going properly on the German Autobahn.
Right.
Yeah.
We're here in a parking lot at the moment. We're generating 292 watts using the vehicle at the moment, and there's an infotainment system here that tells me exactly how much power each of the panels are generating. So 55 watts on the left, 33 on the right, 33 on the front, 3 on the back, believe
But
it or not.
let's wait for it. We're going to make this change.
170 on the roof. So it's bringing in a fairly substantial amount of power just by sitting in the sunlight. It is charging itself. It's pulling power from the sun and putting it into the battery pack. We currently don't have a huge amount of range because this is obviously being used for loads of demonstrations today. Tell me a little bit about the moss here in the cabin. It's very special.
Yeah, the community loves it, like the people who reserved the car and waiting for the car. And they said we have to keep it from the very first prototype. So we are keeping it. This will go into series production. It is mainly a design element, something livable in this quite clean interior. But it has also some air filtration function, but we still have on top of it the usual AC filter, which you get in any car.
As a prototype, it's very difficult to get you a good feel of what it feels like and what it handles like. That will come hopefully next year when deliveries begin. But the seat itself is wide enough. It's got plenty of support. It's a fabric seat as opposed to a lot of cars. And that's a good thing from an environmental point of view as well. It uses far less materials than say a leather seat. And right now, as I say, 295 watts of solar panel generation right now, which is not bad.
When we go into the shade now, you will see that in real time the system will calculate the new solar yield we can get. So the system just needs, once it comes out of the full shade, a quick moment.
The sun is on my right here, and you can see that the sun is now 221 watts, and there you can see.
Yeah, now we are back, and the hood is facing away from the sun. So usually with the now we also have the hood production, but the panels on the roof are of course the biggest surface. So you usually have the biggest solar yield from the surface on the roof.
There are solar panels all over the
Right.
Sion.
Right.
It is unlike any other electric vehicle
Yes.
on the market today or coming to market. The closest thing is the Aptera,
Right.
which has a different solar panel arrangement
Right.
and has approached the question of efficiency and
Yes.
solar energy in a very different way.
Yes.
Tell me how you all came up with the idea of building a car in Northern Europe,
Right.
which is not known for huge amounts of solar radiation, that could have the potential to change the way people travel.
Well, the idea of this vehicle is being really this everyday vehicle, family-friendly, for commuters, for families, for people using this as a second vehicle. And we wanted to make electric vehicles being accessible for the mass market. So we said it has to be below $30,000, and it has to have a good battery range, and it should be convenient. And the convenience part is exactly solar. Solar gives you, in LA, roughly 6,000 miles for free every single year on average. This is great. I mean, think about I would sell you a combustion engine vehicle with 6,000 miles of free gasoline every single year throughout the lifespan of the vehicle. That would be great. That would be a great selling combustion engine vehicle. Well, now think about this electric vehicle. That's exactly the point here.
Yeah. And there's something else that I think is very important to note.
Right.
Like Aptera, which is a solar electric vehicle company that's very forward-thinking about its right to repair.
Yes.
You are doing exactly the same thing. And I find it wonderful that the two car companies that are focusing on solar electric vehicles have that same right to repair attitude. Tell us about the right to repair path for customers of Sono.
So we want to make this a really long-lasting and sustainable car. And in order to achieve that, we have to make sure even 10 years or in 15 or 20 years, you are able to repair this car. So what we did is we came up with the idea of 3 pillars, how you can repair the car. The first one is simple and easy and convenient. It's just a service network we are partnering with and soon announce throughout all countries where the car is launched, where you can just repair it. Second, we're going a way where we publish our service manual online, so independent car repair shops can finally repair again cars. And the third one, and that's what's most probably interesting to you and the community online, is we want to make this a DIY repairable car. So everything what is not crash related, not safety related, you should be able to repair on this car yourself.
The other USP that this car has is not only can it charge up using a variety of different power sources.
Right.
You've got solar, you've got a domestic charger, you've got DC quick charging, and being a European car, it's 3-phase AC charging and DC charging and solar panels, is that you can take power off this vehicle. It has vehicle to load. There is a way to pull power out of this vehicle to power appliances.
Right.
You can also, I believe, power larger setups like a small house
vehicle
in the
to
future.
Home,
Vehicle to home, but also car to car.
Yes.
And I think that's another unique selling point that you have developed. Tell us about that.
Well, the thinking behind it is we need to reach 100% renewables, right? But renewables are volatile. So we need storage, power storage, in order to be able to get to 100% of renewables. And a big answer to that are electric vehicles. They have a huge storage, decentralized all over the country. And that's why we said we need to integrate bi-directional charging so you can do vehicle to home, vehicle to grid, or as you mentioned, vehicle to vehicle.
Laurin, thank you so much for talking with me. Safe travels back to Europe, and lovely to see this in the flesh. I've been following the progress of this car for many years. It's good to see it finally here in reality, and I'm hoping to get a bit of a drive a little later on. And thank you at home for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our free to join Discord chat room. There are links in the video description. And if you really liked this video, why not leave us a super thanks? It's easy to do, and everything you do send our way goes towards helping us make more great content. As I said, if you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed to this channel and to our other channel, Transport Evolved Take 2, which is more behind the scenes stuff, and give that bell a gentle ding to be told when our next video goes live. And before I go, do check out our regular sponsors at Unspun and Energy Sage, links below, as well as making sure that you check out UGears for your holiday shopping. Great functional wooden mechanical models that will keep you and your loved ones entertained, enthralled and educated for many, many happy hours. And by the way, if you check out any of those links and the codes listed below, you will be helping the channel too. Thanks on behalf of the entire crew go out to everyone who makes this channel possible. That includes everyone who supports us on Patreon and YouTube, as well as those of you who just watch the video and share it. If you are a supporter at the charged up level, you'll see your name right here on my right. And if you have just joined, I am sorry if your name is not showing. We are currently filming and rendering these about a week in advance, sometimes more. So sometimes our videos are produced before your name appears. Thanks to our self-driving tier supporters, Mike Weeder, Patrick Boyarski, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Michael Goad, Bennett Elder, Andrew Martin, Pedro Pinheiro, Brophy Wolf, Chris and Michael Johnson, Tesla in the Gong, Dan Blair, Peter Dillinger, Gordon C., Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Denny Hyde, Chris Asentar and Jim Burness, and of course, super out of this world support as this studio shakes as a train goes by, to our Starman supporters Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, JP Fagerback, Joe Bresney, John Lyons, Rory Litwin, Kevin Boroughbridge, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnak, Paul Conway, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin and Ian. If you'd like to be part of that amazing list, you can join Patreon at the link below, hit the join button to support us on YouTube, or show us your support through Bitcoin, Ko-fi, or our cool side store. And if you are unable to support us financially, please know that just watching the video and sharing it really makes a big difference to how well our videos perform and make sure that the algorithm behaves itself. Also, thank you again to Sono Motors for inviting us down here and covering our airfare. And thank you for joining me. As always, keep evolving.